So I've been on somewhat of a quest to find the least expensive modular tool storage like these right here. But I don't want something that's just super cheap and doesn't have any other parts and it's just like a 3-piece toolbox set and that's it. I wanted something that actually had other pieces, a full system. And I think I found it. This is the new hypertough boxes from Walmart, and I paid $69.99 for these. Now, I do want to add that I've recently checked, and it looks like they went up to $79.99. But crazy enough, the $10 added still keeps them at the cheapest set I found. They do have some additional components to this. They've got a drawers piece. They've got like a basket piece, some other pieces. They've even got a like cart that goes with this system. So it is a real system. They definitely seem to be online with maybe the Hart system or the Keeter system when it comes to quality. Probably also like the T-Stack systems. I wouldn't say they're up to par with, let's say, the Milwaukee Packout or the Rigid systems or the DeWalt, tough boxes, things like that. These are a little lighter built, but they're also a whole lot less expensive, and they still do the job just great. So let's check this system out. So the first thing I noticed about these that I like is the latch system on the sides. So when you go to get them, you just pull this little latch like this. You'll see this little latch, it's got a spring in it up here, and it just latches on like this. Then when you want to clamp it on, you just set it on there. If it's got a bunch of tools in it, it's going to be heavy enough to push it down and snap, but if not, you just pop it on, it snaps on with no problem. This top piece here is the divider set, and one of the unique things about this one versus other systems, so these little dividers will hang on the outside of the toolbox like so. And that's what these little pieces of plastic on here are for. So you can take it off, you can slide it on wherever you want. If you're using some tools out of this and you've had bits or something or whatever you take out of here, if you need to hang it on the outside, they just hang. Then there's also dividers in these. You can put more stuff in them, keep them divided. And there's these little pieces all over it. So if I wanted to hang 3 out here, I want to hang 3 on there. This one doesn't have any hangers on it, but these bigger boxes do. So you can use that feature too. I do like the latches here. They're pretty substantial. They seem to be pretty nice latches. And the handles seem to be pretty nice. I mean, it's not a cheap set. It's not a high-end set, but it's definitely not your low-end, cheap, just flimsy plastic toolboxes. These are actually molded well. They're stiff, very usable boxes. Probably not something I would bring on a construction site and beat up every day. That's where you probably need to go with the higher end boxes. But for people that are working, let's say in your barn or your shop, garage, whatever it is you're doing, and you're not beating these to death and throwing them around back and forth out of a truck all day long, if you're not abusing them, it looks like this system will hold up just as fine as any other one will. Now, I do have a lot of rigid boxes, and I can attest they're pretty sturdy. I had a rigid box that I had on a trailer, and I had forgot it there, so I started driving down the street. I was probably doing 50 miles an hour. My rigid box fell off my trailer onto the road. Luckily, I saw it, and I was able to pull over and get it. The thing was still latched. It didn't break the set at all. The tools in it were kind of shaking around a little bit, but everything was still there. I didn't have to use warranty or nothing. The box held up and it's still working fine today. Would this do the same? I don't think so. I think if this fell off a trailer or out of your truck going 50 and hit the road, I'm pretty sure these would at least bust and crack up, if not just totally break. But it's still a lot better quality than the real cheap toolboxes you get, like just the little off-the-shelf Walmart, Stanley, or generic, whatever they want to call them. Just the real basic toolboxes. That's what I'm considering the low end, and I don't even consider those systems. Now, these are just big boxes. Not a lot to them. They're just an open box. It does have a seal around the lid though that would keep this water resistant. Not sure 100% waterproof, but probably keeps it waterproof to a certain degree. They do have the hole here so you could put a lock on this, and each one of the boxes does have a measurement on the top. So this one is from 0 to 16 inches. This one's also to 16 inches. And so is this box here. It does have some nice large wheels on this box. Again, not as high quality wheels that you would get on the higher end boxes, but still more than enough to be fine again in your garage or your barn or your shop. It's got a push button dolly system on it that is more than adequate. Button slides back down, has a little foot spot here on the back. So that way when you want to tilt this thing back, you can put your foot here, lean it back like you would a dolly, and roll this thing around even if it's pretty heavy. All in all, I think it's going to be a good system. There are a lot of things that I need to store in boxes like this. I don't need a $300 3-box system to store everything I own in. I've got those systems, and those are holding my power tools and holding things that I know are going to get thrown around and be put on job sites that are going to get somewhat abused. But this right here can hold a lot of stuff in my shop that will never endanger these of being broken or mistreated. And they'll keep everything nice and organized, and I can add to this system. I can have multiple systems. I can switch them back and forth. That's what I wanted one of these inexpensive systems for. An $80 system that has the same amount of storage and does the same functionality can handle probably 70% of the things that I want to organize, and then I can use the really expensive ones for the other 30%. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I do like the system. I will put a link down in the description to this system. I do want to note though that again, these seem to be new and they are not in stock all the time. I have not been able to find them in stores, but I will put a link below so you can at least check out this system and see where you can find it. It'd be nice if they move these back down to $69.99, but right now I think we have to deal with the $79 price, but that also might mean that on sale they'll drop down a little more. The next step up to this, at least in price, would be the Keter system or the Hart system. They both seem to be the same system, and I did a video on that recently if you check the channel. That's a really nice system too, but if you want to find the least expensive system, this seems to be it. Anyways, I hope this information was helpful. Thank you very much for watching, and y'all take care.